This one is from this week's Libertarian Convention. So in this video, okay, all right, great. So this video, it's going to be a little bit hard to hear. So I put it through the captions app, and the caption picked up about 70% of it. But I think you should be able to kind of figure out the context here. But here's what happens. So it's like there's just like meet and greet time. People are just talking, but the microphones are on and the people in the crowd don't know it. And so it's a conversation between two libertarians and they're talking about, well, let's just, here we go.
Yeah. Are you guys egalitarians?
Say sort of, because I believe everybody has equal value, but I don't believe that everybody is equal.
Yeah, I mean, I bring it up in the context of, obviously there's genetic differences, there's IQ differences between.
Like I said, of course, they go down this road and it only gets better.
Individuals on a general curve, and to say right off the bat that you're going to put an Ashkenazi Jew, a white, an Asian, and a black next to each other and automatically assume they're the same, I think that's wrong. I think that's wrong because there's averages and
Right, exactly. Yeah, well, I mean, all right. So my joke about that is everybody talks about how black dicks are big.
What's bigger?
Black dicks.
Black dicks, okay.
So,
and Asian dicks are small, right?
Small, right? You know what the average? Do you know what the difference is on the average?
What?
Half an inch.
Stereotypes are earned; they're not given. Right. So all of these things that we have as jokes and memes and whatnot, they got to where they are because people just kind of agreed on them, maybe subconsciously. So, even though it's half an inch, blacks still have bigger penises.
Right, exactly. But on
I can guarantee you there are no black people in this conversation. I just want to point this out that the fascination with black genitalia is all one way. So let's keep this going on here.
But that's on average. But you take a random black woman and put her next to it may not be there.
Look, and that's one of the issues with a multicultural society is that you can't do individualism on a scale of 330 million, right? You have to categorize, you have to do averages. It's just not efficient. It's not possible to do it on an individual scale. And that's why you hear politicians talk about the black community and the Hispanic community, right?
Microphone one.
Madam Chair, I believe that the microphones are picking up private conversation. They might need to be cut.
Microphone one.
Oh, yeah. What?
He was picking up you.
Can you hear me?
All right, so I had to pull this up because the conversation. So my favorite part about this is the very beginning. The guy comes up and goes, "Hey, are you guys egalitarians?" This signals that these people don't know each other. Like this is a conversation between two strangers who met at the Libertarian rally. Or the Libertarian conference, and then he's like, "Oh, well, what do you mean?" He's like, "Oh, so do you think that all people are just equal, naturally?" And he's like, "Oh, I think there's differences between, genetic differences, IQ differences." Then lists off like 5 races of people. Like he didn't talk about individuals. It's like, yeah, I'm not about grouping people together individually, so I'm gonna segregate them by race. It's like, well, they aren't all gonna be the same, right? Like, for example, penis sizes. like who starts a conversation like that? So the part didn't pick up where he's like, they say, black people have bigger penises and everything. And the guy's like, okay, well, and this is also weird too, that the guy said, well, yeah, but the difference is only like half an inch.
It's weird that he knows that off the top of his head.
How did he know that? How the fuck did he know that? And the funny thing is, that's the straight man. That's the reasonable person in this conversation where he's like, well, look, you can't people are different, but the differences are all pretty minor. It's like he went out of his way to look this up or some shit. And it's insanity. I don't know.
I'm just confused.
It is the least.
Are we supposed to be organizing people by penis size? Because
apparently so. I like that. That was his go-to example. It's like, well, people are different, right? Like dicks, right? Am I right, fellas? Let's talk about that. It was just so. Go ahead. Sorry, John.
Oh no, I mean that's just a hilarious conversation. It also points out it's like saying the quiet part out. Individualism doesn't work on a scale of 330 million people, which is a weird thing to say at the Libertarian conference. But it kind of says it out loud. It's like, yeah, this is obviously not going to work. You're going to have to group people, and we might as well, group them because of these things. I mean, the libertarian fucking philosophy is entirely self-defeating. Like, it doesn't make any sense when you think about it for more than 5 minutes. And the thing is, the problem is they say a lot of things that do make sense. And I actually, I want to get to so Chase Oliver is the guy they ended up nominating. And I want to show his platform because it's a really good fucking platform. Like, have you guys seen it at all?
No, I haven't seen it. No.
So let me just we're just gonna scroll through this, and it is an incredible. Now, there's a couple things in there where I'm like, well, that's kind of wrong, and I wouldn't agree with that. But like, nothing in it that's like, oh, that's batshit insane. Like Vivek Ramaswamy just cutting half the government's employees by their social security number. But like, this is, pull this up here. This is who they nominated, and I would vote for this guy. Like, if this guy was running as a Republican and he took the
I don't believe this. I don't believe this at all. I have to see. I can't believe this at all.
So, reform immigration for the 21st century. He wants to return to Ellis Isle style of processing immigrants, which is exactly what I fucking have always said. All right.
So far, so good.
Empower people through justice reform. End qualified immunity. Oh, cool. I also want to end qualified immunity and federal mandatory minimum sentencing. Holy fucking shit. I like this guy. Get rid of the death penalty. End the war on drugs. Immediately decriminalize cannabis. He's pro-abortion. He's pro-choice, pro-bodily autonomy. End wars and support peace. This is one of the crazy things, like one of the honestly more crazy things, where he wants to get rid of foreign military bases, which I think we should keep some of them, but certainly cut back on what we have. The economy stuff that there's some stuff.
I was waiting. What's the economy stuff?
But even that, it's like what he's saying in this. It isn't the crazy we can't have driver's licenses. It's close regulatory loopholes that reward firms that have close relationships with government officials and stifle both competition and innovation. Yeah, no, I think that's a good end all tariffs. I also agree with that. And it's the stuff that he's saying, at least I know his philosophy is not necessarily something I agree with, but this platform is something that I would vote for. Like, if this was a close race between him and Joe Biden, I would vote for him in a fucking second. He's obviously a gun rights advocate, which whatever, but he's not perfect.
Does he mention tax policy outside of tariffs?
Not really.
Okay. All right. I think
honestly, for a Republican, not a Republican, for the fact that one of his platform policy positions isn't end taxes, taxation is theft, that seems like a reasonable libertarian, in terms of how far can we take this philosophy and still be functional? I think that guy has it,
and that, my friend, is why he has no chance.
I know. He never had a chance, but he's better than Gary Johnson. I'll give him that,
Cool. And Gary Johnson was the most sane libertarian I've ever seen. I gotta tell you, and I want to give credit to Red Scare Claire for making some very good comments here. Where about that other guy's like, he out here measuring dicks, getting averages. That's pretty funny. And you think patriarchal people would say the biggest dick should be in charge.
All right, guys, if you made it all the way here to the end of this episode, it's probably because we had a lot of banger episodes this week. And if you want to keep on getting notifications when we drop a new episode, just like the one you love so much, make sure to hit that bell icon. And if you have not subscribed for some strange reason, you better do that too. And if you liked our content this week, it was probably because we had an awesome guest. And if you'd like to know where to find her, Rachel, where can people find you?
You can find me on TikTok at authentically ADHD me.
Appreciate it. It was a good time, folks. I highly recommend you check out our Libertarian episode. There's a conversation that was caught on a hot mic that you have to listen to. Just take my word for it. You won't regret it. Catch you next time, folks.